Aloha everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Marissa Indigo with Divine DNA Blueprint Mystery School, here to support your energetic consciousness process and the ascension journey, wanting to share some wonderful inspiration and just resources to support your navigation at this time as we are between the eclipses and so much going on. It is quite an intense time. It's a lot of everything. A lot of wonderful experiences, a lot of challenging experiences, and each of us, I think, is starting to become even more aware of who we really are, what is important, what our priorities are. So these are fantastic times of shift, and they are challenging, ultimately very beautiful. But I wanted to share some wonderful transmissions that came through being out in nature with Gaia. So we have some loveliness to share from Earth Day and from the eagles. I have a beautiful activation to share with you, and we're going to talk about a lot of the energies of this last week and just really wanting to give you some nice tools to refer back to in times of intensity with so much change and movement, a lot of energy, a lot of information, and like I said, a lot happening all at once. So thank you so much for joining me today, and let's dive into it. And when I say a lot of everything all at once, I mean it. We could be vacillating between a lot of WTF moments. I saw a really amazing meme a month ago that said, "My current life, I am navigating at the speed of 15 what the fucks per hour." I thought, oh, that's a really hilarious way to try to quantify and describe what it is that we are experiencing right now. So it could be this contrasting experience of a lot of things to celebrate and a lot of things to mourn, like we've mentioned. A lot of WTF and a lot of, wow, yes, more please of this. This is amazing and this feels so good and so in alignment of who I really am and where I feel I am going. So we are now between the eclipses. We just had the new moon Aries eclipse on the 19th, and the next eclipse is going to be a lunar eclipse. So this last one was solar. It was a hybrid. It was illuminating the luminaries, a very unique way. They call it this hybrid eclipse, working with the light and shadow, really ping-ponging off of the moon and sun of our being, which I found to be very significant for us as we are transforming into greater unity within ourselves, really bringing together these contrasting elements of our being, light and shadow, yin and yang, or divine feminine and sacred masculine, to come into kind of this trinitized beingness, into this unified state of wholeness. And with that, having an entirely new and much more authentic, stripped away, aligned sense of self. And that solar eclipse is the opportunity to identify this within and to also begin to express this, to shine or radiate this as our sun. So this has to do with our own personal life, lifestyle, expression, career, our health, everything pertaining to the self and how that inner light radiates into the world. The next eclipse, which is going to be in Scorpio, is on May 5th, and that is going to be a full moon eclipse, and that is a lunar eclipse. So the lunar energies are going to be even more deep. Yeah, like we really want to hear that. I know we've been going through so much purging and witnessing a lot of old experiences arising, a lot of emotion, and we haven't even really started yet. So I want to be really clear with you about that the lunar eclipse to come in Scorpio is going to be even deeper into the subconscious. That being said, how deeply we have been going in this current phase, in this last eclipse that just occurred a few days ago, in Aries, this new identity is going to support us going more deeply into the trenches or into the closet where the skeletons are, deep into the subconscious, to release more of what we no longer identify with. So it's the deep work is continuing. I'm not gonna, BS you on that, but it's gonna be easier than ever before, to go even deeper than ever before, because we have these new themes of courage and identity. What we have gone through is cutting off with this eclipse, a cutting off, a surgical removal of the old identity, perhaps habits, also unconscious modes of being, like being on autopilot. Many of us reviewing core fears and themes, and it's just such a profound time to be here and to do our best to remain conscious and to be an observer at this time. The fear portal has been very deep deep for so many people. And the image that I have, and it's of course thanks to the Tai Chi Gong practice, which if you haven't tried that out yet, I highly recommend it, and you'll start to see why as the energy gets more intense. So I will link that below to just learn the exercises for free. But there's that image of Neo where he's having that kind of unified at one moment, and time is slowing down for him, and he is very gracefully and effortlessly able to kind of glide and flow through space while the bullets are flying at him, and he avoids all of them. And so there's this deep mystical potential for us to be so calm and so deeply rooted within ourselves and the core of our being, and the invitation to become like Neo, to just breathe, to slow down, work with the energy, take it all in. There are so many opportunities coming at us, and this is where I get that kind of image of Neo with the bullets flying at him. And a lot of the energy has been like, okay, get ready, shift and change, pivot and turn, do this, look here, watch that, how are you doing with this? And it's just like these raining down activations, all for our expansion to release, 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 surrender. Okay, now we see this, and it's just non-stop. It is a deluge, which is why it's quite a feat to manage ourselves right now. Just managing ourselves and our energy is a full-time job. We're dealing with a lot of rapid death and rebirth cycles, experiencing a lot of emotion, also what the body goes through. You know, when we release emotion and core beliefs, then we have our family and our work and how we're showing up in the world. So needless to say, this is a lot that we are managing right now. So you want to really care for yourself and slow down. And I want to share this really powerful activation that came through. I had said last week, I'm getting out of Dodge. I'm going to go into the forest for a few days to just kind of recharge and to be with Gaia and to be with those organic crystalline frequencies instead of electricity or technology or anything. And I wanted to share this powerful reset that we experienced in the Olympic forest. It was an extremely nourishing time, but it was very feral and it was wild. It was wet, raining, there was snow, we were really cold, there wasn't any running water. So it was a very powerful elemental activation or initiation, if you will, with Gaia to really come into the now and to deeply surrender conditions and find creative ways to work with fire, to stay warm, to be with what is. So it was kind of this like monk-like or mystic initiation for us, and took us on an even deeper relational level of fire keeping to stay warm and working with the fire, the energy of fire. As you know, I'm a deep proponent of that with elemental shamanism. So a few days of being in that forest, and we were hiking around looking at all these gorgeous waterfalls and snow everywhere, and yet the emerald moss just shining through, seeing beautiful heart shapes in the snow. And all of a sudden it dawned on me, once I received this deep peace of being in the silence of the forest, all of a sudden I started to hear notes from my bones coming through, from the cells, from the DNA. And what came up was deep terror. There was a purge and a realization that the majority of my life, a human life, also past life trauma, that many of us, most of us, I would say, that have come into the physical form have some kind of deep terror at cellular level. That is just this subconscious, like bubbling right there underneath the surface, which is why it's so important to go deeply into silent spaces like this, where there are no frequency interruptions, meaning no Wi-Fi and no electricity, so that we can be with Gaia and she can help us to really excavate out discordant frequencies within us. And so here we are, no reception. In the forest, it's so quiet that your bones talk to you and your cells talk to you. And they were showing me, as I was releasing a lot of emotion and memories, that we are all collectively releasing deep systemic terror. We are detoxing terror. And this can be a combination of ancestral, not to mention the media induced, right? Just barraging us with negativity, and then all of that going on the individual level and also at the collective level. And I had these visuals of just terror just bleeding out of my pores. And this was eons of being terrorized, physically coming out of me. So very powerful. And this was all part of the eclipse prep, to go really deeply into the silence of the forest, to feel these things and to allow them to pop up and out and move through. And it was such a massive release emotionally. And then we didn't really sleep. And again, like I shared, it was cold and raining. Thankfully, there were hot springs. So that was our saving grace, the hot springs, along with sitting with the fire. But it took all week to recover from this experience. This was a massive initiation. And so I wanted to make sure that I did share this, to invite you all to take some time when you can to get out into nature and to just be with whatever arises. Allow it to just be purged from your being. You don't have to carry that anymore. Essentially, what's happening right now with this eclipse season, as we are in between, we're in this kind of bookend in the middle of it. And anything that is not aligned can be ripped away, and it can be quite brutal. We're having some pretty phenomenally gnarly, abrupt experiences, and this is Saturn supporting us in removing anything that is not highest aligned with our divinity. And we really want to just let it happen, even though it can be very brutal, and the human can feel like, wow, like, what is going on? Like, why is this happening? And you want to rise above and see everything from the soul level perspective. Anything that is not in your highest alignment now, relationships, situations, business deals, everything, it's going to be ripped away if it hasn't already. And I'm sure you've already had quite a few experiences of this, of shift and change that maybe felt very abrupt. And then at another level, you're realizing, well, I've known that wasn't highest aligned for a long time, and yet I felt this, whatever reason, perhaps, a responsibility to continue to nourish it or do my best to make it work, even though I could tell it wasn't really for my highest and greatest good. So we want to really start to sensitize to this information and to trust it. And if you take the action yourself and make the changes that you are shown, which you feel are necessary, but you're avoiding or having resistance, if you take the initiative yourself, it's a completely different situation, and you don't have to have these cosmic 2x4s that can be very devastating. So just wanting to always support you in the process of looking at the ego and its attachments and being a should head with our programming, which can be extremely enslaving, right? Versus our soul, which is not going to care how we feel about something or someone. It's going to remove it. And like I said, it can be brutal, but you can take action and initiative to make it less so. You always have that power. It's a choice. So we really want to emphasize surrendering your expectations, surrendering the attachment to any conditions or outcomes. Now we are really getting kicked up into this 7-year, this mastery year of 0 point mastery, of state of mind. We're going to get into a beautiful activation here in just a little bit towards the end of this transmission to support you, because we are bringing in the beautiful energies of the eclipse, of Earth Day, oh my goodness, of the shift of the sun and Mercury now being in the sign of Taurus. So we're going to switch gears and talk about the shift in the energy and how supportive it is for us now to start to integrate everything that's been happening this last week. On 4/20, the sun moved from the sign of Aries, which is Mars and fire, a lot of yang energy, into the sign of Taurus, which is a feminine energy, and the planets of Venus and Earth, or Mother Earth. We are transitioning now from this kind of firecracker energy, lunging ahead, this ram energy, the sheep, the ram with the horns, charging, surging forward, to more of a slower, embodied, moseying along. Taurus, the bull, loves to smell the roses and just chill in the beautiful field in the sun and enjoy munching some grass, just happy and so simple in its existence. And so now this is the opportunity to kind of stop and to perceive through the senses, through the body. Taurus gives us the opportunity to descend from the head, which is ruled by the sign of Aries, into the body, into the senses. And so April 20th, the first day of the sun in Taurus, cultivating this amazing shift for us to make it easier for us now to create inner peace, to create stillness or tranquility, making it easier to come into the body instead of looping and really feeling like our minds are just racing and it's so hard to get out of that rapid fire in the mind. The sacred bull is the divine feminine, bringing through these beautiful energies of the Hathors and the Venusians and the Pleiadians. The Pleiades are actually in the constellation of the sign of Taurus in the sky. Through all of this that we have gone through, which has been quite intense on so many levels, of beautiful things coming in and also things leaving, there's this contrasting experience of a lot of everything all at once, whether that's loss or gain. The Pleiadians are here to support us. All these divine feminine energies are here now to support us in slowing down and bringing in the beauty. So divine creativity, inspiration, appreciating yourself, appreciating your body, starting to be really grateful for the simple things in life like food and our body and our functioning and beautiful textures and colors and art and music. So Venus is really supporting us in the self-care piece, the slowing down, really wanting us to embrace now. On April 21st, Mercury went retrograde, and Mercury also is in the sign of Taurus. So you're going to notice a shift in your mind, your psychology, and your mental functioning of how you are perceiving reality. It is easier to slow down. You are noticing that you want comforts, maybe some creature comforts like beautiful food and, being nice and comfortable, nice clothing that makes you feel good, and just wanting more of those sensual kind of comforts to ground in. But we are in a yin cycle now. It's really important to tune in and feel the shift in gears and flow. This is why I say we're surfing, right? We're surfing the sine wave. We're surfing that quantum surf. So now there is a direction change. As we are in this yin cycle of retrograde, we are automatically, naturally gifted the opportunity to get more into the receiving mode. So this Mercury retrograde is a huge gift for all of us of this yin energy to start to slow down, catch up. We're kind of reeling from all of that intense eclipse energy, everything we've been seeing. And so now it's time to reflect, to embody, to take in everything we've seen, what we've released. We're going to release some more. That's not going to stop. But now the focus is integrate, integrate, integrate while continuing to move forward and sowing seeds. We do want to keep that momentum always going forward. We're always going forward and upward, onward and upward, right? Plowing ahead. But it's more of a balanced pace. There's time for rest. There's time for pause, reflection, and taking action. So we want to emphasize that this Aries eclipse that we just went through is the most powerful eclipse since the January 2021. And as we know, that January 2020 eclipse changed everything, right? We have seen it. So we're 3 years in to that massive shift of how the entire world, all of the systems, everything is going to change. And we are witnessing the active bifurcation right now of those that are going more AI or technology and those that are going more nature and maybe a little bit of both, but it's more balanced. You're starting to see that. So what was initiated with this amazing and extremely potent Aries eclipse is a 2-year cycle with Aries focus of specialty, which is all about our identity, our authentic identity and expression, and having the courage to be that force, to be that expression, to really shine, to getting into our sun and our solar expression of what we came here to do, how we came to shine in our own unique way, our own specialties, our own sacred contracts and divine mission. There's a pioneering energy associated with this, an independence. So this is a 2-year cycle that we are initiating. Then on top of that, we've got all these rolling cycles coming in, and I want to keep it simple so it's not too much information here. I do go more in depth on all of that in the Phoenix Rising webinar that I just did on the eclipse. It's my first ever astrology webinar. It's only $33 for the replay. I will link that down below, but I go a lot more deeply into the evolutionary astrology. Here I want to focus for you all on the energies and how to navigate this. But we are also initiating, as of March, a 20-year cycle of Pluto in Aquarius. So there is this massive portal now of a revolution of the individual and the collective with everything else that we're seeing. So I always like to point out how the universe has our back, source has our back. So this Mercury retrograde, yes, it can be a pain in the butt sometimes for communication, and we may make little technical errors and things, and it may make technology sometimes challenging and we have to do things over again. But what this is your opportunity to chill. This is a huge gift. This is part of how the planets, the cycles, the movement of all of the planets in the heavenly bodies, they are always spinning a harmonic geometric pattern for us that is woven and carved in the cosmos right above us for us. Everything is happening for us. So this is the opportunity to support us to integrate, really integrate, take care of the body, allow yourself to honor all of the emotion, the shift. Maybe you've seen some things that are horrific. Maybe you've seen some things that are so beautiful that just open you up and you're just so full of gratitude. A lot of people have had scary things happening with their body, health issues, things that are very real, right? Very tangible experiences of deep core fears to be present with. A lot of death and rebirth kind of stuff going on. Like we have said, it's a lot of everything all at once. So there can be a lot of loss And this can be on many levels. This could be literally death. We're experiencing death, in our people we know or different things, or also death, rebirth cycles in our identity, in our creative cycles, shifts in career, all these different things. But there's also a lot to gain because we're making space. And that's what we want to make sure that we emphasize. There's a lot of creativity coming in. There is a lot of opportunity for collaborations, new business opportunities, new directions, all things that are highest aligned. New relationships, whether personally or professionally. Perhaps you're starting to manifest the ideal team to support your business that you've always dreamed of. I know that's coming through for me in addition to all of the intensity. And so I want to make sure to invite you all to have that conscious communication with yourself and really start to enjoy developing this personal relationship with yourself, and also expanding that compassionate communication with your family and your friends and your community, colleagues, all of that, to start to be really transparent in a loving way and support others in this. Having that conscious communication with our children, being really honest and inviting everyone to come to the table with us to bring forth ideas and collaborative solutions to things so that we can navigate this as a team. This is all part of the Aquarian age. All right, so now we are going to get into this beautiful activation, and I'm going to share a little story with you about how this came through. So while I am sharing this, while we prepare, I invite you to start to get comfortable, find a little place to sit down, maybe make yourself some coffee or tea or some kind of a nice beverage. And I want to share this incredible activation that has to do with Earth Day, really, and gifts from Gaia and our planetary kingdom, animal totem brothers and sisters, the animal totems coming through here. We have had the most incredible gifted visitations with the eagles. So how this all started, this wonderful gift from Gaia for us to navigate these times. So this is a nice download for you to kind of have with you as we are navigating this in between of these eclipses, because we're in between a lot of shift and change and a lot of unknown. There's so much movement and energy and information. It can be overwhelming. You don't want to spin out and be overly attached to an outcome thinking, oh, eureka, this is it. This is how we're going to do this. And then it might change. So you don't want to be attached to things right now. You want to hold your focus, but you also want to be very detached and taking it all in. So on the 19th, I'm working on my PowerPoint presentation for the Phoenix Rising Evolutionary Astrology webinar. I'm working on the notes, I'm having a good time, and all of a sudden I see out my window an eagle, and it is flying over and circling and spiraling over the studio as I'm working on my PowerPoint. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And it really hit me because this was the second sighting in just a few days. On Friday, when we went up to the Olympics to go camping, on our drive up, there was an eagle. And I was so thrilled. I love seeing them. They make me very emotional. They're always offering us so much divine information and inspiration. So here I am working on the computer and seeing this, having this second visit. I was like, okay, they really want to make sure we hear this and that we're really paying attention. So they're gifting us with 2 sightings to really let it hit home and really embody this information. This is what the eagles shared. The eagle says, rise above. There's so much unknown. There are so many avenues of our life where there is not yet a solution. And these are things we deeply care about, right? Our family, our life, career, our children, our money, our health. There's a lot of things that are intense for us, rattling us to the core, which is all how it's supposed to happen for the ascension. And the eclipses are really good at that, really rattling us to shake us awake. So the eagle says, rise above. And I start hearing that song by Seal, Fly Like an Eagle. Fly right into the future. I'm going to fly like an eagle and let my spirit carry me. And so the eagles delivered this message to glide, to rise above, take in the broad expanse from the view that is the whole horizon line up above the clouds. They say go way above, rise above all the things. And take it all in. All the things that are challenging to our human ego right now. All the unknowns. Anything that might be disheartening too. The things we're seeing where there is the energy of decay, right? Well, ultimately that's going to turn into fertilizer for new things to sprout. But whatever we're seeing, the eagles say, rise above, be soft, be open. Know that the solutions, the answers, the directions will come. Keep taking in the whole picture. Remain open, pliant, flexible, getting into your mastery, holding that optimism, being faithful and trusting the highest outcomes for yourself, your family, all of our brothers and sisters here on planet Earth, and Earth herself, hold the focus on the ideal experience at the sensation or essence level. So no specifics, just how good it's going to feel, how good it already feels, how good it really is. And know that you will see, it will come, and you will be shown, do this, do that, etc. And so again, the message from the eagles is to rise above, to take it all in, be okay with the unknown, wait patiently to be shown, or to be guided by information or emotion. Let the energy guide you. Glide on. Be okay with what you don't know, let it go. See what you do know. Information can come through in chunks. Be open to what you will eventually know so it can flow through. Let it come. Just coast. This is the deepest surrender at bone level for us. We have been going through the most massive clearing and extremely deep root chakra purge of our lives. Our safety, our security, our identity, core fears, right? Health, body, family, money, children, death. This is Pluto at its finest, stripping away the old layers so that we can be new and true, the authentic you, shiny, becoming the shining ones, rising like the phoenix after the fire cleanse. So this is the message of the eagles. And then on Earth Day, this is the other, the activation that we're going to be doing. So I want to share this with you. So now if you want to get comfortable, you can close your eyes if you haven't already. But I want to bring through the mountain activation, because the eagles brought this and Gaia brought this. And this is really working with the earth element. So the sun being in this Taurus energy of Earth and Venus, and Mercury, which rules our mind, our communication, our thought processes, that also being in Taurus, really allowing the beauty of Venus and Earth to come through, to heal you, to bring in the wholeness. The invitation now, invite you to close your eyes, breathing in through the nose and out through softly parted lips, is to become the mountain. So imagining a crystalline pyramid mountain, you can become Mount Shasta or Mount Kailash, Mount Fiji, Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Rainier, the Rockies, the Grand Tetons. Become your favorite mountain. See it right now. See how it's a pyramid at the base, a wide base, gradually tapering up into an apex. Feel the stable, still power emanating like a generator from this wide base of the mountain, anchoring in. Feel yourself anchoring in with the mountain, feeling the qualities of the mountain of stillness, seeing it again, tapering at the top. So we're looking at it from the base all the way up to the top, becoming the mountain. And now see yourself at the top, sitting at the very top of the pyramid, the very top, the apex of the mountain, with the clouds, sitting there relaxed, taking it all in, with eagles flying around you. And we ask that this becomes a permanent installation in your psychology, in your energy fields, in your light body, in the nervous system at cellular level, to tune in to Earth, to Gaia, to become the mountain, to be here, sit here, and return here often for this eclipse corridor, as so much shifts and changes, yet you remain centered in pure peace, taking it all in, not rushing to or reaching for or grasping or seeking anything. We surrender. There is no more suffering in the unknown. We just looking with soft eyes, soft gaze, soft heart, and open mind, feeling through, knowing in the core of your being that the solutions, the clarity will come. So this is a beautiful activation for you to really engage your earthing, your grounding, coming home to the earth, to the body, to the five senses. Gaia speaks to us all on Earth Day to come home and to connect, to come into the body, come into nature, connect with the elements, become the mountain, become the trees, become the waters flowing, become the sky and the clouds, sit with the fire, be the fire. In this clarity, highlights will come, messages will come, dreams to build towards, and how to build, projects, all of it will start to come through. These are incredible times for us to continue to expand. Open yourself to receive divine dispensation, the divine blessings, even in the unknown, even in moments of pain or suffering or challenges or that which we would not prefer. Trusting, seeing the magic in all of it, seeing the gifts in all of it to expand beyond. Knowing that we can hold all now. We are not dualistic. We do not have to choose one or the other, pain or pleasure. Our existence is a combination of the elements, a great gift. Stay open, stay soft, invite the miracle realms to show up in your life. Affirm that you have it all within you. And I'm wishing you all an incredible, deep, magical, profoundly exquisite eclipse season. Sending you all so much love, support at these times to feel the magnanimousness of your being, your atomic being, and the power of the love that flows through you as an individuation or a spark of infinite intelligence. Wishing you all such a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.